There was a time when joining Microsoft was a very big dream, but more than everything else, I was very nervous because I felt like that I cracked this role with very less years of experience. People get confused also because I'm a data and applied scientist. So people ask, what exactly do you do?
Like, how do you guys enjoy? I mean, how frequently you guys go for party?
There would be 4 to 5 rounds. I don't think so. Any
4 to
lesser
5
rounds are there. If I combine everything, starting CTC will go beyond 30, even for people who are joining from college.
Hey everyone, first of all, wishing you all a very happy new year. I hope you enjoyed this 2025 with your loved ones so much, and I just wish this new year 2025 brings all the success you were waiting for. And this is going to be our first video of 2025, so make sure to show all your love. And if you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. And in this podcast video, we are going to understand about the life of a data and applied scientist at Microsoft, which is the dream company of a many data professional. So our guest speaker will talk about all her experience so far in the Microsoft, the work culture, work-life balance, what kind of projects they work, their day-to-day routine, how they party, and what kind of tech stack they frequently use. She will be sharing all her experience, that how you can crack this role, because she did it with just 1.5 years of experience. What will be the entire interview process, what you need to prepare, what you need to learn, salary, projects, and so many informative things you are going to learn from this podcast. So make sure to watch it till the very end and like it in the big numbers to spread the awareness. And let me know in the comment section what is your primary resolution for 2025, and I will pin the best 2025 resolution in the comment. And a very important announcement for all the aspiring data analysts. So doesn't matter if you're coming from a complete non-tech background, coming from a tech background, and if you're aspired to become a data analyst in the top-notch companies, plus you want to crack them with a really good high-paying salaries, then in the 2025 you need to work on some really important skill set of our data analytics. And a lot of time people feel really confused because they do not have a sequential structured curriculum, plus do not have the practical hands-on to become a top-notch data analyst. And that is the reason we at Grow Data Skills are bringing the new batch of our most upgraded data analytics bootcamp with the business intelligence. So in the 12 weeks of program, you will be learning the entire data analytics from basic to advanced with the practical industry level projects in the live classroom itself. Your doubts will be also resolved in the live classes, plus offline doubt support is also there. And that is not it. We have our dedicated placement assistants as well, where we will be helping you with the interview guide, quizzes, assignments, solutions, the full on mentorship, plus the resume building sessions, the LinkedIn profile making sessions, and a lot more. So in this bootcamp, starting from the SQL, Python, statistics, Excel, Power BI, all the real world projects, business intelligence, A/B testing, AI component, co-pilot, all these things you are going to learn. So just come here with a learning mindset, and I can assure that in the 12 weeks you will be really good in the data analytics with the projects, and you can crack any good product based company with a high paying salary. So link has been given in the description. Do check it out, or you can visit www.growdataskills.com. So hurry up and enroll right now, because live classes are going to start from 11th January 2025. And if you have any query or doubt, feel free to give us a call or a WhatsApp message on this number. All right. So thank you so much, Shailja, for joining me in this podcast. And again, I'm really excited to have you here, because we have interacted on this platform so many times, and I guess this is one more time. So it would be really good for the new audience, at least who don't know you better, if you can give a short introduction about yourself and your current and past background.
Sure, sure. First of all, thank you. Thank you, Shashank, for having me here again. I am Shailja Mishra. I'm currently working as a data and applied scientist too at Microsoft. Uh, that has been quite a journey in the industry for around 4 years now. And if I talk about my journey, I joined Microsoft around 3 years back. Before that, I was working as a data engineer at Fractal Analytics. And the reason I went into all these data roles is because since my college time itself, I had a lot of interest in data domain, did a few internships and projects around the same, and finally landed a data and applied scientist role at Microsoft.
It's been almost 3 years, as you already said, in the Microsoft on this data and applied scientist role. So, how has your journey been so far in the Microsoft? Like, if you want to compare it from your day one in the IT industry and now this day at the Microsoft. So, how has your tech skills grown? What did you learn in this like time period, and what did you experience about the culture, work life balance? So that whole realistic picture we want from your side.
Firstly, I come from a tier 2 college, even though I did BTech in computer science. There was a time when joining Microsoft was a very big dream. That was very, very far away. So after I joined Microsoft, I think it's been around 3 years. 3 years of growth, 3 years of tremendous learning. And even from day one, I would say I got opportunities to work on very critical internal Microsoft projects. And I worked on multiple areas, like not only just data engineering, complex data science problem also, a mix of entire data domain projects also. So worked on multiple different tech stacks. One thing that is very different in Microsoft is, I think we all have recently read also that Microsoft got recognized as like the best employer in 2024. And being a person who is employed at Microsoft, I can vouch for that fact. The work-life balance, the culture at Microsoft, it's like top notch. And they believe in something called growth mindset. And why I said that is because you are given the opportunity to learn, to implement, to fail also. Like it is expected that you might fail. You can learn, you can upskill yourselves through different opportunities, and you can implement all of those in your current work. So it's not just work, work, work all the time. It's work in an interesting way. It's innovation and a lot of other things also that come into picture. That is why I think the work-life balance of Microsoft is so much famous. You would have already seen on social media. So yeah, that's it. And apart from that, I would also say that because I worked with such knowledgeable leaders and colleagues, that has also led me to grown into a person. Because if I compare my day one at Microsoft, I was very hesitant. I know that once you join a company, it feels like, yeah, you have finally got something. But for me, I had back in my mind that this is not the end. This is start of my journey. Because after getting into a very big company, the responsibility on your shoulder also increases because you have to always match up the expectations. So
Yes.
initially, 3 years back, Shailja was very, like, I used to fear that whether I will be able to stand up in this good crowd of people. But I would say after 3 years, I did well. I did well, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still learning and implementing things. So yeah, that's overall about Microsoft.
Yeah, awesome. So, quick follow-up questions. Describe your day one, right? As you already mentioned, big companies brings big responsibilities as well. So, what was the emotion? Like nervous, excited? How like I will perform here? Whether I will be able to survive, or they will kick me out in just 2 3 months? Or just like walk us through with your thoughts and emotions that day one at
Sure, sure.
Microsoft.
I think you already put that very well. I was very, very excited because it was actually the previous company I worked. I worked during COVID times and it was work from home. So it was my first time corporate experience visiting an office, and that to Microsoft. So I was very excited. Very thankful also for such a big opportunity, but more than everything else, I was very nervous because I felt like that I cracked this role with very less years of experience, data science role in 1.5 years. This is something that doesn't happen normally with your age group of people. So it just felt like that it's a lot of pressure on my head, and I don't know if I'll be able to stand up on these expectations or not. So it was very nervous first day. And I showed that nervousness also to my colleagues and managers. That's a funny story. But I would say my manager was very, very helpful, and he kind of identified that this person is very nervous in this environment. And he helped me initially to get through everything, to understand that this is normal. You are expected to fail also. So that's not a problem. And that's how I then moved ahead.
Can you share the life of a data and applied scientist at Microsoft? What does your typical day look like from start, like by the time you log off for the day, how things move?
Sure. Again, I think it is one of the common questions I get, and sometimes people get confused also because I'm a data and applied scientist. So people ask, what exactly do you do? Do you do something very different from the other side of the world? So straight up answer, I don't do very different things here. But yeah, at Microsoft, as a data and applied scientist, my interview was mix of data engineering and data science skill set. So primarily, I was hired in my team to do both of these works, like a full stack data person who know about the engineering side also and can explore data science and analytics also. My daily schedule also looks something very similar to that. As a data scientist, if I divide my normal day into 2 halves, one half is spent on discussions in meetings that I spend brainstorming on different ideas, how optimize solution, how optimize model we can build with my teams, with my colleagues, etc. And other half of my day is actually implementing that, coding, developing all those models, deploying those, solving errors, all of these things. But overall, the way we work here is that we plan our next 6 months in advance. What are all the work that we will take in hand, and we follow a sprint on sprint fashion where we kind of cover what is done, what are the deliverables, etc. So this is how my daily work looks like. But again, I think that's already been called out. But we don't work 24/7 here. We do engage on other activities also that just boosts a bit of morale, team building activities and all of that. So yeah, there is a mix of all of these things.
So does it also start with a stand up like as usual, or it's just like you open your laptop and start working?
We do have stand-ups.
How many breaks usually you guys take? I mean, if any time on an average you have calculated like in my 8 to 9 hours of working, these many breaks I usually take.
Actually, one thing also is there that we don't follow a fix like 8 hours I'll be working, 9 hours I'll be working. It's like I have this amount of work to be done today. I'll make sure it gets completed by end of day. So let's say I have good amount of time this morning, so I'll try to complete it in the morning, rest for a while in afternoon, or vice versa. But overall, like I don't compromise on my food. Like I am working and I'm having lunch, and I'm working and I'm having coffee. So these coffee breaks, lunch breaks are overall something that is common every day.
Like, how do you guys enjoy? I mean, how frequently you guys go for like parties? Is it like after a successful project delivery, or whenever you all feel like let's have some chill time and you all go for a party?
Again, Microsoft parties again I think are a bit famous in the industry. We do celebrate a lot. Microsoft has a culture of celebrations where we celebrate our deliverables, where we celebrate some achievements. But apart from that, if we feel like that we have our work done and we have some spare time, we can hang out.
To be very honest, for the first time when I heard about this profile, maybe unlike others, I was having the same doubt. What this profile is, I mean, data and applied scientist, since it's a bit confusing. So, can you talk a bit about it? Like, what do Microsoft expect from a candidate while hiring for this role specifically? And how does the entire interview process looks like for this particular profile?
Okay. Got it. And I think it's a common misconception also in the industry, because data and applied scientists normally means that you might work on core data science projects. It is not a general designation even across Microsoft. There are some teams who hire for data and applied scientist roles for people who are core data scientists. In my case, like I said previously, my team, the basically the hiring that happened for me and others in my team, data and applied scientists, were basically people who had data engineering experience as well as data science experience also. So that is why in my interview, I faced both of the questions from both of these areas. But otherwise, if you tend to understand this designation generally, overall, then more focus is on data science areas. Only specific need might occur in some team that, yeah, we need data engineering skill set also. And coming to the interview process, if I talk about generally the data and applied scientist interview at Microsoft, so when it comes to the skill set, like what skills are expected from you, so their basic skill sets, like you should understand Python, you should understand SQL, you should have good proficiency in statistics and mathematics. And then finally coming to the data science areas, then you should know about machine learning, deep learning. And all in all, you should have good portfolio. Like people might have previous experience where they might have worked on data science projects in different companies, or else if you are a self-learner or someone who has done master's degree, then you should have a portfolio of projects where you have worked on some recent concepts which are more prevalent in the industry, how much you have knowledge of those and how much you have implemented those. All in all, this is what Microsoft also expects from a data and applied scientist.
So usually how many rounds will be there on an average?
There would be 4 to 5 rounds. I don't think so any
Four to
lesser
five.
rounds are there.
4 to 5 even for like 1.5 years and 2 years of experience.
I know. I went for 4 to 5 rounds. 5 rounds I remember. But in recently they have kind of reduced
But I
to
guess
3.
last two rounds would be more around behavioral and that kind of discussion, not too much technical. What I believe.
My expectation was also the same, but I think it totally depends upon hiring manager. Mine was technical.
As I starting average CTC, how much they offer for this profile? I mean, data and applied scientist, one role where it's 1 and 2 years of experience. So how much on an average they pay? You are on senior level, so I'm not asking for numbers, but on an average for this
Okay.
profile.
Because Microsoft CTC comprises of multiple different areas, like base is there, we have stock as a very good portion, we are joining bonus. There are different components. So if I combine everything, starting CTC will go beyond 30, even for people who are joining from college.
When someone gets promoted at Microsoft, so what do they usually get? Like a percentage increment in the base salary plus stocks, or the only stocks part?
No, again, the hike that happens, promotion hike that happens, also happens on all the components. On not only this the base salary, but also stock repression happens.
So someone coming from the non-tech background and ask you, let's say, Shailja, can you suggest a best career option for me in the data domain, in the tech, in 2025? Then what would you suggest and why?
So when we say in 2025, the first thing is, Shashank, AI is the new buzzword in the industry. And it's not just the buzzword, it's very demanding skill right now. But I interact with a lot of students, freshers, experienced professionals who want to transition their careers. So one thing that I suggest them, that I personally, from my experience in the industry, the easiest and the fastest way to enter into IT domain, one role, if I have to point it out, that is a data analyst role. And I tell you the reason for that. One reason is now companies more or less, mostly companies are now moving towards making data driven decisions because of the amount of data that is getting generated every year on year. So that leads to more demand of data analysts. Secondly, the number of skills that you need to learn to become a data analyst is comparatively lesser, easier to any other role that we have. And lastly, this is one role where companies are also open to hire people. Like even if you come from a non-technical background or you have experience working in a different domain, if you get the skills, if you have good projects and etc., you can apply and companies are willing to hire people. So on these three regards, I would say data analyst in 2025 is one of the most preferred, easiest career option for anyone.
As you suggested, the data analyst role, how can someone learn this thing step by step? What should be their approach? And considering all this AI boom plus to stand out in the crowd, what kind of skill set they need to acquire properly and sequentially? Because this is important, the proper maintain sequence, right? So that they are not confused, they are not skipping anything, and they are well prepared.
Got. So if I had to give a very elaborated roadmap for a data analytics portfolio, specifically in 2025, I would start by saying learn three tools, very foundational, very important: SQL, Excel, and then one visualization tool. It can be Power BI or Tableau. After you have learned all of these things, then move on to learning statistics. Descriptive statistics, not very deep, and Python. Because you would be exploring the data for analysis and you need these tools to do that. Then, like I said, companies are now moving towards cloud. So you should have understanding of either of the one cloud platform. It can be Azure, AWS, or GCP. And finally, AI is in the demand. Your portfolio would be incomplete right now if you don't learn about AI. You'll be left behind from the crowd. So not just learn all of these tools, practice all of these tools, but also understand how you can leverage AI and Copilot in your data analysis workload. Like a lot of tools now have Copilot. So you should know how to use that so that your work is easier and better. Lastly, when you learn all of these things, you just know about these tools, like how to use this, what to use, and all of these things. But as a data analyst, you will be working on data. So you should have something which is called business intelligence. In terms of if I give you a problem statement, how should you solve it? You know the tools, but you should understand the approach also. You should understand the overall analytical process that happens. And lastly, I say that every time, all of your skills will be of no use if you don't have a portfolio of projects. You should put all of these skills into practice. You should have good projects in your resume so that then only you will be able to stand out from the crowd. So if you follow this step-by-step process, considering what is demanding also in the industry, you will be able to stand out and have a good portfolio to become a data analyst. Also, since I get this question a lot, I just wanted to mention it here that this sounds like a lot of things to learn in a structured format. So I personally also teach data analysis, and I'm starting a new batch on January 11, where I will be teaching all of these core concepts that I just said. Along with that, I will be helping students through doubts, through different quizzes, assignments, so that they can practice all of that. And most importantly, help them build multiple projects and portfolios so that they can be helped from my side also how to tackle interviews, how to create LinkedIn profile, how to create a resume. So it's like a package for everything where I'll be teaching data analysis and also hands-on on the practical side of things.
Let's say there is a task and you are not doing it, you have asked AI to do that. Don't you feel that your skills are not getting utilized? And if frequently you are using the AI tools, you may forget the things which you have learned so far, or maybe you are not competent enough to complete that task.
I get it. I get it. A subtle way of asking, will AI take our jobs? I'll say that at least again I work at a company who is again the market leader of breaking Gen AI in the industry. So talking from that experience, even here we believe, at least we are at reaching 2025, that AI currently is not taking your jobs at all. Yes, but AI is making your job faster. So earlier, if I take 4 hours to debug a particular piece of code, if with the help of AI and Copilot, if I'm able to debug the same code in like 1 hour, those 3 hours is my time saved, which I can actually use in terms of my developer productivity. So all these tools which now have Copilot integrated, like for example, if I take data analysis as an example, so I don't think there are tools right now in the industry that can make the entire process, like they can do all these things without any human touch. Human intelligence is still way beyond what any AI can take over. But I would say with all of these capabilities incorporated, what you can think, it is allowing you to think beyond that. What you can come up with, it is allowing you to make your solutions even better. What you can solve, it is allowing you to solve it more faster. So if I look from that perspective, I don't think so. It is making me less competent. How you use it and where you use it makes a very big difference.
So moving on to next thing, as being employee at Microsoft, so you must be using Azure Cloud very frequently for all your production grade projects. So based on all that experience you have gained so far, which Azure services do you use quite often, and for what purpose specifically?
Okay. So if I just target, let's say, one role, since we are talking about data analysis, there are multiple different Azure services. So if I talk about specific Azure services that we can use for analysis purpose, then starting with storage, we use Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure Blob Storage, we have Cosmos DB, we have Azure SQL. All of these are used basically to store unstructured when it comes to ADLS and law, and structured data in case of SQL. Then for engineering purposes and overall for analytical purpose, we use Azure Data Factory and recent Azure Synapse Analytics, which is like a one-stop solution where you can perform big data loads as well as overall analytics that you would want to perform. So all in all, when it comes to implementing things, storage and compute, these are the services that I use very frequently for analytics.
Your thoughts about these certifications? I mean, do they really help specifically to crack these top tier product based companies? And maybe if it helps not in this kind of firms, maybe other companies, then for the data analytics folks, what kind of certifications would you like to suggest they should prioritize and they should definitely take them?
So, straight answer, yes, certificates do make a difference. It's certifications are like validations that I have learned something and I become certified, that it's like a validation that what I learned I actually know. I just don't say I learned it. And also it just adds one more star to your resume. But also I suggest people that don't just take certifications for the sake of taking certification, that I will add these 5 10 certifications in my resume. But if someone asks questions around those, I'll not be able to answer. Those certifications on your resume will not help. If someone has to target, let's say, data analytics role, then there are few certifications in the industry which they can get. Like, for example, they can become Microsoft Power BI certified. They can become Google Data Analytics certified. They can take certifications from Oracle. They can take certification from IBM. So all of these certifications have market recognition and value. And if you in the process of taking these certification, you do learn a lot of things. So in that case, it will definitely add a star to your resume.
Very helpful, Shailja, and I guess all these inputs which you have shared with us, it will definitely help them to proceed further. that how they should plan their data analytics journey in 2025. And apart from that, whoever is thinking to join the Microsoft, this is the life of a Microsoft guy looks like. So now you can decide whether you want to go or not. But thank you so much, Shailja. It is always a pleasure to talk to you and get your experience and help other folks to know better about the data analytics, data science, and all those things. So a very big thanks from my side and from the entire audience, whatever experience you have shared, very helpful. And yep, that was what I had for this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Shashank. Happy to be here always.
So that is what I had for all of you in this amazing podcast. I'm pretty sure you have enjoyed all the experience shared by Shailja and what they are actually doing on this role, data and applied scientist at Microsoft, how the lifestyle looks at the Microsoft. If you enjoyed it, if you find it informative, then make sure to like it in the big numbers, share it with your fellow friends, and let me know in the comment section your best resolution for that 2025 so that I can pin that one as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon. And as I said, don't forget to enroll yourself in the Data Analytics 4.0 bootcamp with the business intelligence, where you will be learning the entire data analytics with industrial projects in just 12 weeks in the live classroom environment. So you can visit www.growdataskills.com to enroll and check the link given in the description. So I will see you guys really soon with another amazing video. Till then, just keep exploring data.